One of the first questions people ask me when they've been involved in an accident is, how long is it going to take to get my case resolved? It's a fair question. And the honest answer is it really depends. There are patterns and there are reasons cases take the time that they do. Let me walk you through some of those reasons. I'm Tony Patterson. I've spent many years representing people in Indiana who've been involved in serious accidents and families who've lost loved ones as well. In this video, I want to explain how injury cases usually move along, what affects the timeline, and why moving too fast can sometimes hurt, not help, your case. First, the biggest driver of how long a case takes is typically the medical treatment. Before anyone can usually value or fairly value an injury case, doctors need time to see, 1, how you're going to heal, 2, whether your symptoms linger, and 3, whether you're going to need any future medical care. You'll sometimes hear this called maximum medical improvement. That's just another way of saying what we see is what we get. This is as good as we can reasonably expect the person to get. So once we know that, we have a better idea of what we can do and what you're entitled to on your case. Here's an example. If you break your arm, it may heal in a few months, but if you injure your neck or your back, it might take much longer to know whether the pain will go away or stick around. Until doctors know that, no one can honestly say what fair compensation is in your case. And there's no way to rush this part. Your body sets its own schedule and heals on its own time. Once treatment stabilized, the next step is gathering the information, including your medical records, your medical bills, and documentation explaining what you went through. Even something as simple as an ER visit can involve multiple bills from the hospital, doctor's group, the radiologist, or even the ambulance bill. That takes time to collect and organize, but it matters. The case can only be as strong as the information behind it. That's why oftentimes we'll say a fast settlement isn't always good. Once the information is put together, it's usually shared with the insurance company. This is where people sometimes get frustrated. Insurance companies may make an early offer that comes quickly, but that doesn't mean it's fair. Here's a common scenario. Someone finishes treatment, the insurance company offers a modest amount right away. The message is basically, take this now and the case is over with. But that offer may downplay the ongoing pain, ignore the future problems, or treat a serious injury like a short-term inconvenience. A fast settlement can sometimes be a cheap settlement, and that doesn't fully recognize what a person has actually been through. Sometimes you may have to file a lawsuit. Filing a lawsuit doesn't mean a case is necessarily going to trial tomorrow or even at all. In many cases, we file a suit and they don't go to trial, and actually most of them do not go to trial and get settled without that. What it often means is this: evidence gets exchanged, witnesses answer questions under oath, and a full picture of the injury and responsibility comes into focus. Here's an example. An insurance company might say, we think this injury healed in 6 weeks, but when we talk to the doctors and look at the records, we find out that the facts are fully developed and it becomes clear the person has lasting problems. That process often changes how a case is valued. Many cases still settle after a lawsuit is filed, but they settle with better information on the table. So how long does this all take? Every case is different, but generally speaking, some cases resolve within a few months of treatment ends. May take 6 months to a year. More complex cases can take longer, especially if litigation is needed. The goal isn't to drag things out, and it's not to settle as fast as possible either. The goal is to reach a result that actually reflects the injury and the damages in the case. If the case takes time, that doesn't automatically mean something is wrong. Often it means the case is being allowed to fully develop. What matters is that you understand where the case is, why it's there, and what's supposed to happen next. If you have questions about how an injury case works or want to understand what the process looks like in your situation, you're welcome to reach out to us for consultation. In the next video, we'll talk about another common concern: who pays the medical bills while the case is still pending.